No others. We be the colors of the mad and the wicked.
24-hour sign. Dynamite rabbit with the crunchy caramel.
Super fast, I'm gonna last. And welcome to the review of the VMV A1 from SMSL. Hi, how you doing? So Apos said I have two speaker amps for you. I'm like, cool. And one's the SU9, which I have to go review in the basement normally. And then there's this one, the SMSL VMV A1. And I thought I needed to do something special for this review because this is a rather special unit. Because whereas all the other speaker amps I've done on the desk recently, I'm saying the last year and a half, have all sort of tucked under that $300 accent mark. It's like, all right, that's good. This one is $660. Why? Why? By the way, it might be echoey. That's why I'm wearing the headphones still. I can't stand the echo. We'll see if you guys can do it. It's one-off, right? In 2 days, there'll be another review, and it won't be up here. So this is their, I want to say matching, but if you don't know, the SMSL VMV D1 has been like the go-to expensive DAC that I did like 3 years ago. And I've like benchmarked everything against that. And it's like, well, all DACs sound pretty good. So I'm just, whatever. That's why I'm using the Topping D70S. I didn't think I needed to brand match here. This thing is, on paper, a Class A amplifier. That's why they're charging you money. Because it's not even that super powerful. Like I've got the little JBL Studio 570s up, which are not the most efficient speakers. And this will put out 15 watts into 4 ohms or 10 watts into 8 ohms and 2 watts into 32 ohms, which is when I do this. And you go, wait, there's a headphone plugged in. Yeah, to the back, like an afterthought, but we'll get to it. So this is a very unique amplifier, unique enough to make me do this and work and carry things upstairs. I didn't need to come up the stairs, but I came up the stairs because I like this thing. In fact, I like it so much, I sort of put this review up for 2 months because it's been on my desk and I've been using it. And then I wasn't using it, then I'm using it, and then I'm like, I have to use it because Tim Socks is... Claims Class A, don't believe it's fully Class A, because here's what Class A means. When you hear a Class A amplifier, that means the amplifier turns on, it sucks massive juice from the power outlet, and amplifies everything without remorse, without stopping. And this sounds like one of the, what a Class A amplifier kind of, if I could just give you like a hint of what it sounds like there's no switching going on. It sounds like it's just purely on all the time, rolling. Every little bit of detail and failure of the music will come through whatever, a headphone speaker, whatever you're using. And that's good if you're an audiophile and bad if you're in the green party, because that means it's going to suck from the second you turn it on to the second you turn it off, 100% of how much it's ever going to use. I was dealing with someone with a Krell Class A, 300 watt per channel, 220 pound Krell Class A amplifier. I had to bring it up to Connecticut to get it repaired and then bring it back down. Fuck that, by the way, I'll never do that again. And 300 watts per channel, so 600 watts draw. Nay. It actually drew 1300 watts because it has to have twice as much draw as it does power. It's the way Class A works. And so that means from the moment he turned that on, he basically had a hairdryer on. Constantly, just because that's what the fucking power draw is like. So when I plug this into a kilowatt, if you don't have a kilowatt, by the way, and you do any sort of audio stuff, there's 2 ways to look at it. Either a kilowatt is going to help you determine which items in your stack you should turn off, or a kilowatt's going to make you sick to your stomach about how much power your shit's drawing and you're never going to use your audio equipment happily again. Those are literally the only 2 options. But I will link one in the description. So the kilowatt on this was showing me it was drawing as much as 22 watts, I think, 22 or 24 watts. I didn't bring it up here for this. And then when I was lowering the volume or switching from speaker to headphone out, the wattage changed, it dropped. So a Class A, a true Class A wouldn't do that. A true Class A would be flip on the switch, it gets to 1,000,000 degrees, it's constantly on, it never stops, it never ends, it never stops, it never ends, then turn it off. This actually varies with the load and the volume. Which means it's more Class AB, but I'm not going to hold that against it. It's just, I wish they wouldn't say, they didn't say pure Class A, they just said it has Class A, probably bias. One of the most interesting things about this amplifier, and this I've never seen on another anything, is it actually has a temperature readout in front. That's how I was like, oh man, they're serious, because it does get a bit warm, and by a bit warm I mean it gets hot. And it doesn't like draw more than probably 10 to 12 watts when it's just sitting there idle. But when you start powering speakers with it, that's when it starts getting into the 15, 20, 25 watt draw. And this, which is reading currently 41.2 Celsius, I've gotten as high as 56 Celsius. Powering on my desk the Mica RB42s, which are very inefficient speakers. I want to point, look me in the eyes. Very inefficient RB42s. On this to loud, cook. We'll cook this and cook those, but it pushed them. And you think like, oh, Zio, it's only 15 watts. Why would I buy this? Or it's only 10 watts to 8 ohms. Why would I buy this for my desk? Why wouldn't I just buy something that's more powerful, like a fucking Topping MX3 or some of the DA8S or the Sabaj A10A? Well, because Class A and anything that's biased AB, biased A, or Class AB, biased A, is just going to sound, God, I don't know how to do the audiophile terms thing. Everyone's like, oh, you got to compare directly. It just sounds fucking more natural and smoother. You can do as much with less wattage if it's Class AB or Class A. And I believe this is biased Class A a lot, because we are pushing those. Hold on. Those are making the wub-wubs. Those... They are making the wub-wubs and the violins go in such a sweet way. And we're going to talk about speaker use, obviously, because that is the main purpose of this. And then we're going to talk about the fact that I'm wearing fucking headphones, and that those plug into this, and that you can use the Class A, B, Class A of this to push 2 watts a channel into 32 ohm headphones, and how that the Tim socks are like they live on this now. So front of the unit, A1 VMV. There's a little, that might just be dirt. It's a little bezel around the screen. The screen is red, by the way. SMSL usually does blue or green. This one's red. It shows a picture of a speaker. It shows the temperature of the unit, which hasn't varied much. It's 41.3 or 41.2. It does actively change quickly. We've got our volume display. The volume is lit up green. It has the remote control we can mute, which makes the volume control red. There are 2 black buttons, non-labeled buttons here, right between the infrared receiver. The top one switches between headphone and speaker output. Wonderful. The bottom one is the mute button. And then you have the standard SMSL knob with the button in the center. The button in the center brings you into the menu. The menu in this is so simple. It's output, which has, guess what, headphones or speakers. So you have a button here, you don't need to go to that. It has headphone gain, so you can do high and low gain for the headphone out, not the speaker out, just the headphone out. Then it has display brightness, which is all the way up, and the hardware version. Hardware and software version of this are 1.0, SMSL 2021. Get out of that, that's it. The menu has been gone through. They even brag about it. I have APOS' site open here. And it's like, well, boasting massive power, nominal distortion, and minimalistic feature set. The VMV A1 is a fire hose of analog brawniness. This is why I don't write reviews. Or read them for that matter, because I don't, that's inside me now. Those words are inside me, and I don't want that. So yeah, basically it's super fucking minimalistic. It's screen, volume, what are you powering, switch between headphones and speakers, mute, adjust volume. The volume goes from 0 all the way up to 70, and it is a digital knob, but it is very, very, it doesn't click, but it's super fine. How much violin do you want, and how fast? Okay. I'm sure that's, what the hell is that? Dmitri Sostakovich, Violin Concerto No. 1 in A minor, OP 77, Scherzo Allegro. I don't like the naming of classical music. It's modern music actually has better naming. Switch to the headphones again. Which remembers the setting, by the way. It doesn't share volume control. When you go from speakers to headphones, it remembers each setting. In fact, I think if I pause this, because I don't want to test this out, if I'm on the headphone and I put it to 70, which I hear a buzz, by the way, because this will, I'm taking these off my ears in case something happens, because that'll blow up my fucking brain. And I put this to 70. No buzz on that. If I switch back, it maxes out back to 30. But the speakers will stay. So the speakers will remember all the way up to 70 if you switch. The headphone will never remember higher than 30. And these, which are the Sennheiser HD280 Pros, if you're wondering why I have this particular selection of headphones, by the way, it's because I took this out of my office where I do work and just relax. And these are the headphones that are in my office. 280 Pros live in my office. Usually because I have the Tor Roger up there, which is my little tube amp from Ukraine. And these sound amazing on a tube, but I decided to bring them out for the echo chamber here. Let's bring this back down way off from 30, because these are so efficient. Let me get... Still Got Love, Blue Scholars. Oh. You got to see, from my perspective, as a person who does reviews constantly, and constantly getting these little amps, these little Class D amps, constantly, that are slightly higher wattage or slightly lower wattage, or they're Ophidian German drivers, and to just get one that actually audibly sounds different, worth every penny. I'm tired of not that they're not good. Anyone out there who's watching this video who already has Sabage A10A, Topping MX3, Topping PA3, SMSL DA8S, SMSL M300. The list is fucking eternal, and they're all Class D. The only speaker amplifier in recent memory that I could think of is the Emotiva Bass X A100, which they're being discontinued now. And that's the big long one that's 50 watts per channel. That you did the page 11, you get the power amplifier for the headphones. So now imagine that, but more modern in a smaller, better package with a remote control and more biased to Class A with less power. And that's what this is. This is like the upgrade. It's $660, which is not exactly like $300, which is what that thing roughly is. But I have to make the decision of what to keep in my desk all the time after reviews are done, and this is probably going to be the thing. So we're going to have to look at the back of this, and I'm going to have to unplug it for that, because SMSL, they figured out their market. We're going to turn this off. You could hold this to turn it off. There is a switch also in the back. I installed these absolutely ridiculous power plugs. I got these on Amazon for $55 a piece. You know why? Because they look cool as hell. That's the only reason to buy a big power cord. That's all aluminum. That's aluminum, and the part that's in the power shift is aluminum, and they're like 5 feet long, and they make it look good. Because why the fuck not? It's $55. Is not exactly cheap, but $55, you plugged it into like your computer, it's gonna look like a baller setup. You have to be careful not to drop these speaker cables on the ground, because I'll have to go dig them out for 3 hours. Can you hold this, please, Tim Sock? Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to unplug these headphones that I'm currently still wearing. I'm going to unplug these Shorty World's Best Cables, which, by the way, World's Best Cables might be sponsoring this channel. I finally got in contact with them and like, look, can you send me like a care package that'll last me for like 17 years? And they're checking it over with their management. I'm picking this up now. She's a weighty fucker. I've said that before, and people are like, Zeos, how does he review? He doesn't say something is rather girthy. He's a weighty fucker. And here's the scary part. It's got spikes. Yeah, no, this is a real dangerous for Zeos personally, because a lot of my desks are glass, or I have those glass shelves you get at Monoprice, and they give you fucking screw-in spiked feet for this. Because apparently, and I read this on the APO site, I had no idea, SMSL came up with a pair of speakers I've never seen these SMSL speakers. Apos doesn't sell them. So they're just existing somewhere in the world is SMSL speakers. And this is the amp that they brought out to match those. So they give you spikes and they give you these little fucking things, which are little metal discs with a little fucking divot. And the back is like a clear silicone. And it is the stickiest, I could stick it to the bottom of this table and it will stay. It is the stickiest silicone ever. And you're supposed to put it down on your surface. And I don't know how you're supposed to do this. They should give you a fucking template SMSL. I guess you could just make one on your own with just a piece of cardboard. You just go pop 4 holes in cardboard, then figure out exactly where the fuck you need to put this down. Because putting this on top of those one at a time is nerve-wracking. If you like, because OCD people are just gonna, okay, it's not right. It's not sitting in the thing. I built this table, by the way. These are IKEA legs, and it's a beautiful 4x4. This table is worth so much more now because wood is fucking stupid. Anyway, back to the back of this unit. So here's the fascia. I love the fingerprints. I use it a lot. The top, fingerprints and marks and things. There's this fucking serial number. Solid piece. The only opens from the bottom, so there's no screws anywhere on the back. That's the kind of absurdity the VMV line is. They don't want you to see screws. They think it's a $10,000 amplifier. It's not, but they're going to build it like that. So you have no screws in the back, no screws in the top, no screws in the side, only multiple screws in the bottom, and I'm not pulling that shit off. Here we have the main power bus switch, fuse, your normal IAC connector, your normal miniature 5-way binding posts. There's your 1/4 inch out for headphones. Why is it on the back, Zeos? Why is it on the front? I don't know. Probably because they're literally just tapping off of this. It's like an afterthought, but it's like the best afterthought, and I kind of like it because you know what else it does? It doesn't make it look like a headphone amplifier sitting on your desk. If you plug headphones into it, you can through the back. In fact, I have the Heart audio cable extension that like plugs right into this, and it leads out, and I have the plug to plug my pluggy plug into the plug. So it makes it better. But then you have when you realize what this is when you look at those RCA connectors. Because those are Japanese. They listed them in the video on the website somewhere. These are a specific type of Japanese connector that's highly resounding. Like they just like jerk off on like how Japanese these are. So when a Chinese company like SMSL is totally going for like Japanese RCAs and hidden headphone outs in the back of things, because you could just run your cord around, which is honestly cleans up a desk a lot. God, this thing is heavy. Yes, I like this. I like this a lot. Let's plug it back in. What does she weigh? She probably weighs like 5 pounds. Okay, I'm gonna do these first because they're gonna fall onto the floor. Mica cables, if they're still available, because they've been in and out of stock forever, the micro speaker cables, and I just like how small and non-offending they are. Let's plug in this stupid power brick. Ugh. And then we'll do the, oh God, I gotta put it down exactly in the right spot. I don't wanna fuck that up. Did that one move? Oh God, I moved that one. You're gonna end up doing this a lot, don't worry about it. Okay, that's in place. Now I'm going to plug, and there's no color coding because of course there wouldn't be. Colors are for, I don't know, poor people or something. Hi Megamine, how are you doing? This is my table here, so Megamine's on it. So that's it. We can now turn it back on using, oh, turn on without the remote. I'm going to unplug these from my head. I'm gonna plug in the headphones that I really, truly tell you that if you're gonna, I reviewed the Tim Socks, right? Do you remember these, right? The purple $2,000 headphones. And I spent all that time switching back and forth on my desk. Which amplifier makes them sound the best? Because it's such a small little change because they're so neutral. This is the amplifier that makes them sound best. If you spent $2,000 on the Tim Socks, why not spend a little more? And this is the Tim Sock adapter, plugged into the Tim Sock wire. Switching that. Actually, these are probably hard to drive, so. Yeah, okay, so now the Singzer is Class A. So you would think the Singzer and this would sound similar, only the Singzer has more power, or the GSX Mini is Class A and the GSX Mini is... I can tell you right off the bat, anything from New York is going to be a robocall, tell me about my car's warranty is running out. And I'm like, I have all old cars. What, the 2012 or the 2006 or the 97? Which one's warranty, you fucks? I'm gonna actually talk to them one day. It's gonna be great. I'll record it. I'll put it on the internet. But anyway, back to Blue Scholars. Still got love. So back to my rant on the other Class A amplifiers are better amplifiers than this. I hands down, Singzer sounds better than this. GSX Mini sounds better than this. But I like this one better on this headphone. So here's the thing. This is $600, $660. The Singzer is $600 or 600, and it was 660, I think, as well. And the GSX Mini is $2,000. So the fact that this can push headphones with a similar flavor, barbecue joint flavor of Class A, and also does speakers when you just hit a button.
Everybody is generous.
And good, like you're not gonna be able to run a party in my house with the fucking crazy echo chamber that I'm living in. I could probably run a party with this, but on a desk with super inefficient speakers like RB42s, it will also run those. In fact, I had originally planned when I was doing this review to bring this all the way to the basement and set it up with the fucking RF7s, because the Klipsch RF7s are the most efficient speaker. But honestly, it doesn't show off how good this thing can power inefficient. Those are pretty fucking inefficient. They're more efficient than the 530s, but you're pushing like low end.
You need to be specific.
And not distorting. And it's great. This thing's great. Those are great. And my God, do they make the headphones sound great? I'm gonna skip through. Yeah, I don't know what, here's the thing. I don't know what it is. It's making these like, oh my God. Social network. On we march. Oh God. Because it's like it's doing it speaker amp style. It's pushing these headphones clean. Maybe not as perfect and accurate as like I would want with the Singzer or the GSX. But that's fine. This is like a bonus. The fucking headphone out is a bonus. I originally was just like, okay, speakers, great. Can't wait for speakers. Speakers, fucking fantastic. Now let's check the headphone out. Ooh, I go, ooh, the backside is fantastic. Yeah, these headphones, these fucking Timsats can only live on this amplifier because it does enough. It puts enough, like, it's not a tube. Here's the thing, Class A is not a tube. If you ask someone about linear amplification, then you ask them about Class A amplification, and you ask about tube amplification, you're gonna get 3 different results and descriptions. And it's hard for me to, it's probably Class A is the hardest thing to describe. Because a tube, I could tell you what's going on. Random shit. Random tubes do random things with random delays, and they stretch things out, and there's delays, and there's resistance. But Class A is like, shouldn't that just be a less efficient method of amplification? And that is correct. But then why does it sound better? Anybody who wants to take a crack at that in the comments below or on Hi-Fi Guides and all, why does Class A sound better? And keeping in mind, this is really more like a Class A B. Not just a Class A, it's Class A B. We're at 39.3, by the way, because I had a pause, so we've actually dropped the degrees in temperature. That's the coolest. I don't know what it is about having a temperature readout on my units, but if anything that gets warm, like 39 degrees C warm, or up to 50 degrees C warm, I'm glad it has a temperature display. Because I was leaving this thing on constantly, because I'm like, oh, Class A, you gotta leave it on all the time. And then I realized it probably only takes about 20 minutes to heat up, so save your fucking electric bill. Dexter, Laura, and Harry. That's so good. Sandra Macbeth, 8 Ball, Acoustic Arts. Ah.
So trust your Kabbalah, your Jesus, your 8 Ball.
Your 8 Ball. Yeah, it's expensive. It's $600. It's just almost. It's almost $700. That's enough to buy you. What else is $700? Can't buy a VR headset. You could buy an old, like, Ford Taurus, an old Taurus, like the old Taurus, maybe. I'm building a new computer, so I'll buy you some RAM, just some RAM, and maybe an M2 drive. So it's not cheap, but I think it's probably one of the best pieces of equipment SMSL has ever made. Just straight up, because they've not made a speaker amp, headphone amp combo in a long time. As even the M300 is a DAC that has speaker out. So it has a headphone out. Does it have speaker outs? I'm thinking now. No, they might just have a DAC in. Anyway, this thing's fucking great. And if it's your first Z reviews, I'm going to say this for certain people on the internet which have a problem with me. Do other research. Come here, watch this. If I've intrigued you to spend $600, look around, read other reviews, then come back here, watch this again, and then buy this. Because people seem to think that I'm brainwashing people into buying things immediately, only watching my shit, and I'm being a bad man because that I'm not telling people to leave here and go elsewhere. Always you have to be responsible for your own shopping habits. Do I make a good video? Yeah. Did I tell you to buy this? Yeah, I'm pretty much telling everyone to consider this. Consider it. If you have really efficient speakers, absolutely consider it. If you have super like inefficient speakers, I'm trying to think of an example of inefficient speakers that you wouldn't want to power with this. Like if you're on a tower speaker that's only got like a 85% efficiency, that's a no. This is not for this. I didn't think anyone was going to hook it up to towers in a giant space, but I did because I can. "28 days later, tower block." Put this back to headphones. Just that alone, just a feature where I could press the button and it goes back and forth. All right, putting these down. Yeah, no, there's I'm trying to think of something wrong with this. And there really isn't anything. I mean, you got the remote. I didn't go over the functions. Power, the gain low and high, which is the input button, is gain low and high for headphones. Oh, that's on high. That's on low. Low goes real low, by the way. Like they don't want you to blow shit up. Because this will still go to 70 on a headphone. And on high gain at 7, bad news bears. So keep it on low gain if you can. Push it, and then on high gain, then it actually drew more power. The function button switches between headphones and speakers, and you have mute. And the up and down does volume, obviously. Left and right does nothing, and the center button is the menu. So how do we get out of menu? Like you hit function. There you go. That's it. This anonymous black box. I always put like the anime stickers on all the shit that I'm like, that needs to be kept, and that's the thing that I want. But this thing gets so hot it probably would peel off. Oh, there's a high-res audio sticker here as well. That is just I'm gonna take it off. I only take them off during the reviews. It gets so warm that you just peel the sticker off. Usually you get like a heat gun or something. So here we'll put this in the bottom of the table there, like gum, like when you put used gum. So there, that's much better now. Thank you, SMSL. Actually, thank you, APOS, for sending it out. Thank you, SMSL, for creating it, because finally there's something that I could recommend that isn't just the PS Audio Sprout, because that was it. This doesn't have the feature set of the PS Audio Sprout, but the PS Audio Sprout was like, if you had the money to spend on a little bit better, that was 100 watts per channel. It wasn't Class A or anything. It was a good amplifier, and it had the original one was fucked because it had a fucking EQ that was, the bird just flew into my window. Don't do that, dumbass. But it had an EQ with like a bass boost, and only on the second revision did they make it so you could turn that off. But that had Bluetooth and I think a DAC built in, and this is just an amplifier. What will it amplify? Yes. It's not balanced in the back. It could have been, but it's not. It's just, speakers. Blacklicious, 4,000 miles. You're looking at Zeos's probably desk stack. Like, that's it. The D70S is exactly the same price as this, basically. And that's as much DAC as I ever want to spend on. And then this thing, and it's not balanced again, it's not balanced, but my God, does it fix some of the things that I want out of a headphone. Like the Tim socks needed to be messed up a little bit, a little softer, a little more fucking fun. Boom, this. Okay, we're done. Anything else I gotta read from the APOS? Get up. No, not there. Yeah, this. Class A, see it says Class A, 15.2, tabula rasa, sharing the same spear-ended feet, and, oh, by the way, the front spikes are slightly longer, so it actually points up a little bit. I like that design. I like that design, SMSL. Think about how many things you want to interact with. It could just be raised like an extra 1/4 inch in the front, or 6 millimeters in the front versus the back. It's nice. It's nice stuff. If this had Rupert Nav written on it, it'd be fucking $2,000, and it would be like as good as this. I'd be fine with it. Total amount of distortion: 0.01 at 4 ohm, 0.008 at 8 ohm, and 0.002 at 32 ohm, which is for headphones. SNR, yeah, it's 10 watts. It's 2 watts, 10 watts, 15 watts, 4, 8, and 32. Power consumption 30 watts. I don't think I ever got it to actually get the 30. Got it like 25 to 28. And then it weighs 4.4 pounds, which is a heavy little bastard. So yeah, that's been this Z review up in the mezzanine. I've been told multiple times by people this is not a loft because it's open on all sides. So I could just like look down at stuff. No, I don't want to spit on my floor. This is Chewbacca's chair, so I have to get off of it real soon. Anyway, that's it. Linking to this at APOS. I'll link to the D70S, I'll link to the headphones. I didn't plug in the Klipsch HP3s or the Neumanns during this. I mean, I did in my room, but I just brought them up here because they're just some of the headphones I've been using on it. And wallpaper, as always, available in the description of this video. All wallpapers gathered into a big collection on Patreon and Subscribestar. You can get any tier can access this, and you could search out the original artists on Sauce Now or IQDB. I want to just make sure everyone knows that I do have a Discord. I have a Telegram. I even have an IRC. You can get to those in the description with the see all social media links thing, which then links like 12 things, including Instagram and shit like that, Twitter. Yeah. Patreon and Subscribestar help support this channel. When I have to buy random bullshit, like these $55 cables. Thank you, patrons, for letting me just go out on a limb and say, hey, can I buy these stupid fucking cables? Yeah, I'll do that. I wouldn't mind if they sent them to me for free. If anybody from high-end power connector cable company wants to send me that, that'd be fantastic. Let's have all my shit on that. But yeah, no, that's it. Links, Patreon, Subscribestar, files a month, see reviews early, participate in the yard sales. For $10 a month, ask me any questions you want on Telegram. And I do videos every other day now, in case you haven't noticed. There's a sound demo channel linked in the description. I need to permanently fix that. Zeos, remember to fix your thing. So any sound demos for speakers or headphones will no longer be showing up on this main channel. It'll be showing up there. The reviews may be showing up there as well, just trying to keep the views up. And what else? Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. Yeah, that's about it. Check out the Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum, and we'll go from there. And until the next day after tomorrow, shit, the day after tomorrow is a fucking terrible movie. I don't want to reference that every video. That would be dumb. I don't fucking do that shit.